From Abuja, the nation's capital, this is Matters Arising, coming to you live from the studio of KAFTAN Television. Matters Arising is the flagship talk show of KAFTAN TV that features in-depth discussions and analysis of topical and trending national and international issues by a team of seasoned broadcast journalists. My name is Evelyn Dan Epelle, saying thank you for joining us.
My name is Macauley, Hunohashi. It's always a pleasure to be with you at this time of the night. You're welcome.
Okechukwu Onubogu here. Good to have you there.
We welcome you to today's show, which promises to be engaging, incisive, and interactive. You can be a part of the conversation by calling our phone number, which will be displayed on your screen later in the course of the show. I don't know if you've decided where you would be on August 1st.
Okay, well, August 1st is the D-Day for the planned nationwide protest, I guess.
Yes.
You know, going by the tension currently in the country, I'm very, very skeptical as to what might happen on that day. It could snowball into, you know, an unending
Mr. Hunohashi, what's
anarchy.
your plan? Where are you planning?
So I'll be at home. Truly, I'll be at home. Evelyn, I'll brew my coffee, sit down at home, and, you know, monitor on TV.
You're not going to be here providing analysis?
No,
you are supposed to be at work, not at home.
No, I'm not on duty. I won't be on duty on the 1st. Unfortunately, it's going to be on a Thursday.
I cannot categorically say where I would be. But before I introduce our topic of discussion, let's join Bukola Ogubeje for a quick roundup of events and happenings in the polity.
President Bola Tinubu has held emergency meetings with APC governors, prominent traditional rulers, and Islamic religious scholars at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja, as part of efforts by the government to ensure the planned hunger protest slated for August 1 to 10 is averted nationwide. The meetings come after growing calls for the anti-hunger protest following widespread economic hardship in the country. And speaking after the meeting on Thursday, the traditional rulers urged the organizers of the protest to seek dialogue with government, warning that there was the possibility of the protest being hijacked by hoodlums. Meanwhile, ahead of the planned nationwide protest in August, the Trade Union Congress has asked the Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun to provide security cover for the demonstrators. Briefing journalists in Abuja, TUC President Festus Osifo said the police are mandated by the Police Act and the Constitution to provide adequate security for protesters. He said adequate protection is necessary to ensure that the planned protest is not hijacked by hoodlums, adding that the leadership of the TUC has not called for a protest. The House of Representatives Special Committee on Oil Theft and Losses has commenced investigation into illegal lifting of crude oil in Nigeria in order to address root causes of the challenges facing the sector. The special committee, chaired by Honorable Al-Hassan Adodoguwa, was declared open by the Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, represented by Deputy Speaker Honorable Benjamin Kalu, speaking at the event. Abbas lamented the negative impact oil theft is having on the nation's economy. He pledged the readiness of the Parliament to assist anti-graft agencies to rid the sector of various economic crimes. And our President Bola Tinubu has mourned the death of the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo worldwide, Chief Emmanuel Iwuanyanwu, who passed away on Thursday, July 25th, aged 82. In a condolence message signed by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalale, Tinubu condoled with the family, the Imo State government, friends, and associates of the deceased and Ndigbo over what he described as an irreparable loss. The president affirmed that Chief Iwuanyanwu will always be remembered for his remarkable legacy and prayed for the repose of his soul. A statement by the family of the late businessman said he died after a brief illness.
Welcome back, and thanks to Bukola for taking us up to speed with news making headlines. And now to our topic of discussion tonight, which is the planned nationwide protest. Tensions continue to rise over the planned nationwide protest slated to commence on August 1st, 2024. In response to rising inflation, economic hardship, and insecurity issues in Nigeria, talks about mass protests is popularized and have ignited a fierce debate across social media under hashtags like End Bad Governance and Tinubu Must Go. President Bola Tinubu on Thursday convened a medley of emergency meetings with traditional rulers, security operatives, and governors of the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) to discuss the issues. Inspired by recent events in Kenya, the call for protests in Nigeria already faces stern opposition from political figures who urge organizers to reconsider their plans amidst concerns over potential unrest and public safety. And now the echoes of past protests, notably the End SARS movement of October 2020, loom large as young people cite violent crackdown on protesters. A focus on what could be the outcome of the protest is critical as the nation prepares for another pivotal moment in its recent history. Tonight, we shall discuss implications of these protests, explore the pushback from political quarters, and the broader implications for Nigeria's socio-political landscape. Mr. Hunohashi, having me discussing protests really has sort of even proven to me that, you know, change is possible, because typically when it comes to issues of protests and, you know, just how sensitive it is, discussing people's emotions, I choose to always stay away from the conversation. But here I am tonight, right at the heart of the issues and discussing it. And I would just say I haven't seen the agenda. You know, I'm excited to know that people are trying to participate in the governance of this country beyond the flurry of activities that comes with elections. And after that, a lot of things have died down. I'm happy to know that, you know, there are steps to take action to hold our leaders accountable. But I'm just saying, where is the agenda? We're talking about the End SARS protest. A protest without an agenda, I don't know about that.
Well, that's our protest. If you remember the Arab Spring that started in Tunisia, that, you know, became snowballed into, you know, catching fire, so to speak, across all Arab nations. That was how it started. It started with one man who, you know, did a self-immolation. Self-immolation means you set yourself on fire because of disagreement with regards to certain government policies. You know, in Nigeria, see, government is taking this thing for granted. Nobody, you can know the beginning of a protest, how, you know, protest may begin, but nobody knows the end of a protest. Nigeria is a very, very huge country with a population that is almost hitting 300 million people. And it is multicultural, multifaceted in everything. And the largest demographics, you know, of the population are the young people. And these young people are saying that it is evident that there is hunger and widespread despondency has ravaged the entire country. And what are the issues? This thing was triggered by the headline inflation that has hit about 34%, and food inflation has hit, you know, almost 40%, which was triggered by the removal of subsidy on the 29th of May, 2023, and then the floating of the naira and some of the macroeconomic policies of the present government led by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And you know, Amnesty International have reacted by saying demonstration is an inalienable right of every citizen anywhere in any part of the world. So this demonstration is their right to have
the right to protest.
To protest. The right to protest is an inalienable right. But my own problem is the response by government. Government is not responding. There is no, you know, the strategic communication by government does not augur well, because here you are as a media handler of Mr. President coming, you know, to point accusing fingers at a presidential candidate of one of the opposition parties that is almost, you know, setting, you know, stage for litigations.
Mr. Onubogu, you seem to be taking a chill pill today. What's on your mind?
Well, there are certain things I need to think about, really. The first one is that as it normally said, what goes around comes around.
Right.
I wouldn't forget in a hurry that this president that we have today was among the fellows that participated effectively, actively in
so many strikes,
things like that in the past, you know, and coupled with the fact that some top government officials today too were all involved, and then they stressed the fact that it was their right and that nobody should take it away from them, and they they made it a point of duty to not only come out but to get people to come out en masse against the government because of fuel price increase. You know, it was from 76 naira to 125 or so.
125, yeah.
And it looked as though the whole country was to come down. And I remember that while all that happened, nobody disturbed all of them. And now, these same people that were involved are the ones fighting others that want to protest. If it should have been that what they would have done is to say, please, just as you want to do your protest, no problem, but make sure it is peaceful. And then they'll ask the police force, please, Nigeria police, ensure that there is peace as far as these protests are concerned. For a number of days, they've said they will hold it 7 days or 10 days, anyone, but just ensure that they are protected. Let the protesters not be harmed, and let not the property of the government of the country be looted in any shape or form. This is what I expected. If it had been so, then would have said, at least, this man did it, I mean, severally, so he understands. So he will now say, let it be taken easy. But what we are getting is the exact opposite. They are the ones making so much noise. Like the Igbo man, like the Igbo man would say, anyone that is going behind me with a knife, with a machete, be careful. I will not say anything to you until my head is cut off. Now, this time, what he's doing is that he wants to warn everybody, don't try it. Why are you doing though? Why are you doing so? When you were allowed to do it in your own time.
I would allow us to come back to that thought. I wanted to let our viewers know that they can phone us in and become a part of this discussion and share their views on the planned protests and just how they're thinking about the issues and leading up to today. Please call the number on your screen. Remember to turn down the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you and deliver your feedback in 1 minute.
So
I want to bring a focus to something that you were saying. When I was looking at the social media commentary about, end bad governance, Tinubu must go, there seems to be a consensus that there are legitimate reasons for which Nigerians should definitely protest. We've been protesting our stresses and strains one way or the other. If I remember clearly here on Matters Arising, all of our string of episodes have been some kind of protests towards the issues in our polity. So saying that people are planning to take to the street to sort of protest, to me, it's even a no-brainer at this point, But here is my concern. The issues that people are pointing out now is the pushback on the protests that seems to take up or swallow up the peaceful protests and make out the protests to be violent in nature.
Yes,
we cited Kenya, for example, and said that, people were out protesting, it was peaceful, and then suddenly there was some chaotic activity that was then branded as the protest being violent, and then the government would have to intervene to end the protest, thereby scaling the brutalities and resulting even in more casualties. And at the end of the day, we can't really say that there are any tangible results that come out of this protest. Knowing that this is how things typically would go in the past, would you say that you've seen any change coming? Would you? We have a caller now, so that's the question I have for you, but I want to quickly take this call. Hello, good evening. KAFTAN TV Matters Arising.
Hello,
Good evening. Thank you for calling us. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Onubogu. I'm calling from the government of Cross River State.
Thank you. Can we have your feedback in 1 minute?
Yeah, my critique that the country will come from is a very funny country. And then our leaders themselves, I don't think they have us in mind. As youth in this country, they are not thinking there's anything that will make us go back. Because our president himself has been an example. When things are not going well, we saw him coming out to protest. I'm not sure he's so comfortable with the situation and the way things are going for us in this country. So we are coming out to don't register our minds to him. If he has not seen it, he has to come out himself and see it.
Okay.
People are dying of hunger. People are dying of starvation. There's poverty everywhere in the land.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you very much.
I also want to continue to stress. Oh, you have another call?
I have another caller.
Caller this time.
Hello, good evening. KAFTAN TV Matters Arising.
Good evening. I am Give Thanks from Adamawa State.
Good evening from Adamawa. Thank you for joining us. Can we have your contribution in 1 minute?
Yeah, my contribution is that we are not against anything protest in this nation. But the challenges we are having is the way we protest. Sometimes it's not healthy. Because our people, most of the people are not patient enough. At the process of the protest, you will see some group of people will not break up and come out with their own different acts, which is not going to help us. That is why I'm not advising that we should not go for the protest. We should go, but we should know how to do the protest.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that contribution.
I was saying I needed to conclude it. You see, these protests we're talking about today, do you know that the major reason for which this protest is started is because of the fact that there was an instant removal of petroleum subsidy, fuel subsidy. The petroleum subsidy, all the petroleum products were, the price of all of them just went haywire, just that way. If there had been the palliatives put in place, first of all, before this thing was done, there wouldn't have been any problem. After all, in the last electioneering period, all the presidential candidates said that there must be a removal of subsidy.
But the pattern.
But the way our own president did it
Mr.
now.
Okechukwu, before we took those calls, I was talking about the systemic approach to protesting that yields results, right? As we're going into the protest, I'm just asking, like, what is the clear objective and agenda of these protests, and what's the expected outcome?
Yeah, look, there is something that someone said that you don't know what the outcome will be and all that.
I was one that said.
Yeah, okay. And this man also mentioned that Nigerians are not known to be this kind of people.
What kind of people?
That is people that are lawless in everything they do. No, I don't want to believe that. If they say they want to do it, any other thing that, just as the last caller mentioned, that there could be a group that will now sprout up and start their own, that is the work of the police, to stop them and let the people who are doing their peaceful protest continue. I am not saying I want the protest, but I'm not saying I don't want it. What I'm saying is, if anything is supposed to be done, let it be done right.
We are looking at the issues and the substance. We all know what led to this general despondency and despair in the country. There is widespread hunger. Nobody would deny that fact.
Yes.
And
there are legitimate reasons to protest.
There are legitimate reasons for the protest, for the planned protest.
Yes.
These are legitimate.
Sorry, I have a caller that has been on the line. Hello, good evening. KAFTAN TV Matters Arising.
Yeah, good evening. This is Kelvin calling from Delta State.
Good evening, Mr. Kelvin. Can we have your contribution in 1 minute?
Yeah, honestly speaking, I think the government is responsible for any protest that actually go wrong, because the police are meant to go along with the protesters. Any other law enforcement agency, they are supposed to be on ground to checkmate those persons that are irresponsible when they are doing this protest. So I remember vividly when this current president, they actually indulged in protest. It was peaceful. I can remember vividly. So I think they should do the needful, just like the previous government under Jonathan did, to allow them to engage in protest. They should do the needful and let people protest hunger is too much in this country. The price of everything is on the rise. You can't just pinpoint one thing that is good right now. We are suffering, and it's too much. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I have one more caller on hold. Hello, good evening. KAFTAN TV Matters Arising.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight. What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, I think I lost that caller. Hello, good evening. KAFTAN TV Matters Arising.
Hello.
Hello, good evening. This is KAFTAN TV Matters Arising. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Evelyn Dan Epelle. I'm calling from Macauley.
Can we have your contribution in 1 minute?
Yes. First of all, I want to thank all of you in the studio for entertaining to this nationwide problem that is coming up.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
that is from my perspective. I want to be very civil in my opinion. You see, we are talking about what will be out of this. What will be the outcome of this protest? But I want to tell you, Nigerians have been pushed to the wall to a point that we are now ready. Nigerians are now ready to die. Because the highest the government will do is to call the police or the army to shoot aside. And Nigerians are ready to die. Temporarily than to die in hunger secretly. That is my opinion. And I want to tell the government that if what they are doing is good, God will judge everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm really on the line from my Bible.
Thank you for joining us. Did he say Nigerians are willing to die?
Ready to die
that's
in
right.
public rather than die in secret of hunger and starvation.
My concern is that, like I said earlier on, government is treating this thing with levity. There have been medley of meetings yesterday, beginning from day before yesterday. Secretary to the federal government convened a meeting with ministers. Only yesterday, the president convened a meeting with traditional rulers. He met with the governors of the ruling party, APC, and he also met with security agents. It's been meeting and meeting and meeting and meeting, and then this planned protest is getting traction on social media.
Yes, it
You
is.
know, the demographics, the people that want to come out to protest are dominant on the social media. They don't need television, they don't need newspaper for you to ask them to come out to demonstrate. It's social media they are using. And my biggest concern, if you remember with the benefit of hindsight, during the 8th October 2020 #EndSARS demonstration in Lagos, Tinubu's property got burnt. His TV station got burnt. In Abuja here, while demonstrators were in Wuse demonstrating, they were looting in Wuse axis. I mean, sorry, at the Yanya Karu axis. They were looting. Innocent people that locked up their shops, the shops were broken and they were looting. And what led to that demonstration? It was a response against police brutality. This time around is against widespread hunger, despondency and despair across the land.
What do we have to say about the concerns that a protest turned violent would set us back?
Of course, it will set us back.
You know, like what's...
There is something I even need to add to this that he's just said.
Okay.
If there is a protest and you are afraid that people may come to loot your property, come out and watch over your property. Because they looted the others because they felt nobody was watching over those.
Sorry, I want to quickly take this caller that has been on hold. Hello, good evening. KAFTAN TV Matters Arising.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for joining the show. Can you please turn down the volume of your TV set?
Okay. Good evening.
Now let me have your contribution in 1 minute.
Thank you very much. My name is Uwe. I'm calling from Abuja.
Thank you, Mr. Uwe.
Protest is not anarchy. Protest is a way that the citizens of Nigeria will be able to make their own voice heard to the government. So when you are protesting, you are telling the government, look at what I want you to do for me.
Peaceful protest.
So Nigeria coming out for protest is not that Nigeria is coming to fight the government.
Right.
It's the approach of the government that can lead to anarchy and violence. When the government listens to the citizens, there will be no anarchy or violence. So Nigerians should listen, the government should listen to the voice of Nigerians, because that is the only channel that the Nigerian can speak to their leaders. If you are staying in my room now and call on our leaders, do this and do that, they will not listen. Our leaders are not listening leaders. So this is the only way we can tell them what we want.
Right.
And any person that is not supporting this peaceful protest is not a true Nigerian, because all of us know what is happening today in Nigeria. When the sitting president now were protesting against Jonathan, the money we used to buy a bag of rice now, you can buy 12 bags or 10 bags then. The fuel then is 10 times you can buy. But now you cannot buy something like that again. So this is the time for Nigeria to take their country back.
Well, thank you so much for your contribution.
To us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution. We have one more caller on the line. Hello, good evening. KAFTAN TV, Matters Arising. Good evening. Can you please turn down the volume of your TV set? Okay. I think we lost that caller, but hello, good evening. Can you please turn down the volume of your TV set?
My name is Ross. I'm from Canada State.
Can you please turn down the volume of your TV set?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Good evening.
I'm from Canada State.
Thank you for joining us on the show. Can we have your contribution in 1 minute?
You said that goes like this. A hungry man is an angry man. You see, the issue, even the protester will not solve any issue in this Nigeria. Because if you watch back the recent protest, it changes nothing. And if the government allows the protest to happen, there will be a violence. Because the youth are hungry. They cannot look from outside. I expect them not to destroy properties. Don't let you put certain things down to stop the protest. If not so, Nigeria must be in a very, very chaotic state.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your contribution. He seems to be sort of trapped somewhere in the middle.
He's not. He's against the.
Yes.
The planned protest. He's against it. Mm-hmm. He's afraid that it could be hijacked, which is also a genuine concern.
And the government and some people have been asking, who are the sponsors of this? Who are the people organizing this? If you say that hunger is organizing it, you won't blame the person saying
But don't you think that, and I'm sure that we can put down a long list of things to legitimize the protest. I asked this question in the beginning about what the agenda for this protest is, because I want to believe that if this is something impactful, there should be results in the coming months, that XYZ actions led to specific results. Kenya, that we are citing as an example, when the protests took to the streets of Kenya and the people were complaining about the finance bill, the outcome of that was that the president fired all the members of his cabinet, and we're now in the process of vetting new members to fill in those positions. So that's why I'm asking, like, where do we see this going, and what immediate actions do we see President Tinubu firing members of his cabinet in Nigeria?
See, Evelyn, there are two ways to it. President Tinubu, has realized, he has demonstrated leadership truly, and the buck stops at his desk as the president of the country. the attention is being focused, needlessly on only Mr. President. What about the subnationals? President Tinubu has provided stimulus packages.
That's a good question, by the way.
He has provided stimulus packages to governors. He has released 10 billion naira to each state governor to float CNGs, which will eventually reduce the cost of transportation. He has done so much by way of palliatives. And they just released 20 trucks each of grains to each state. But he has held meetings. That's a show of concern. But one demographic that is missing at that meeting is the youth group. He met with governors. He met with traditional rulers. He met with security chiefs. He met with the ruling parties. Sorry to
interject. I actually did see a number of activities and posts from the president's senior special advisor on citizenship and leadership, Ms. Rishola Abiola, and it was really focused on national youth programs that the presidency has put out in response to, I don't know whether to say response to the planned protest, but I get you on
tomorrow
engagement.
Tomorrow there's going to be
on youth engagement.
Tomorrow there's going to be a press statement by Nigerian Youth Organization. Their president said so. He said they are going to release a press statement tomorrow, giving the president ultimatum, for within which he will invite them, for him to tell them what the government plans to do in the immediate, in the medium term, and in the long run. Okay, I have to take my caller now. Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining us on the show. KAFTAN TV Matters Arising. Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? It is epileptic. Okechukwu, you want to say something? Yes. Sorry about that. Okay. KAFTAN TV Matters Arising.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
My name is Samuel. I'm calling from Ondo State.
Thanks for joining us, Samuel. Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set and give your contribution in 1 minute?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead.
Please go ahead. I can hear you.
The issue of the planned protest is the issue of the general Nigerian. Even people that are at home that cannot go on the streets will be supporting them logistically and everything, because the government is bad. The cost of governance is bad and the masses are suffering.
Thank you.
Look at the senators and the rep and everybody, they were enjoying. Now they were running abroad. Now they were leaving their country, they are running abroad. Instead of seeing the issue and solve the problem. I want to support one man that earlier called that said even the youth are ready to die by dying by hunger.
Rather than die
because the suffering is too much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. I have one caller on hold. Hello, good evening. KAFTAN TV Matters Arising.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Thanks for joining the show this evening. Can you please turn down the volume of your TV set? Pardon me?
I'm calling from Rivers State.
Thank you. Can we have your contribution in 1 minute?
Concerning planning protest, it's a good development of the mass of Nigeria, the poor and the major people in the country are really suffering. What is that because the reflection we have to close to count is the help for the government and planning to put on the platform. These are the major things that bring this inflation of price of goods and every other thing. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your contribution. I like that he's citing some of the stresses and strains in our economy. He talked about inflation just now. And just like you said, these are all legitimate reasons for Nigerians to sort of be angry.
You see, there was something that Macauley mentioned that I need to also stress. The president has done Well, by sending things and all that to states and all that money and grains, as you mentioned. You see, all these things he has done, they are all good.
They're all good.
But the simple thing is that he started badly. With that announcement of, what is it called now? Is gone. What's it called again?
Yeah, but
Mr.
Onubogu, that announcement now is a stale announcement, and all this cascade.
It is what is leading to all that you're saying today.
Yes, but I'm saying, can we continue staying stuck in this?
There is no way you can come out of this until things are put in place for you to see. You see, that's the problem. If it hadn't been so, things would have been going better than this. That's one thing. So I'm not against that. Yes, of course. That's what he should be saying. I mean, it is not wrong for him to. I said it before. All the political parties, all the presidential candidates said it should be removed. But the process of removing it is the thing that is causing our people. And it's evident that they weren't on ground preparations and plans. You need to put these things in place before you remove it. Somebody here said in this program said it's not wrong for the president to return to revert to what it had been before now. I know it's almost impossible for him to do so, but then let it just be made. Is it impossible for a president to say, I'm sorry that we did this, but then let's continue from here? It will get better. That's how to make people calm down, not just start threatening them that if you try it, well. I don't recall presidential communications being that empathetic. That's what I'm saying. No, that's what it should have been.
The only comment that was empathetic came from Mr. President himself, through the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris. He was the only one. But all the handlers, were not forthcoming with comments that could calm frayed nerves.
In actual fact, the other
yes, accused Peter Obi,
which is wrong.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, said Abuja is no place for any demonstration. In Ekiti State, the police commissioner said they are going to do a mop-up, in the middle of the night of all vulcanizers to seize all tires so that there won't be bonfires. That's not the way to approach this kind of
I have a caller on the line. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the program. Hello, good evening. KAFTAN TV Matters Arising.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello?
Please, can you turn down the volume of your TV set? Please turn down the volume of your TV set and give your contribution in 1 minute.
I'm calling from Lagos.
Thank you for calling us. Please, can you give your contribution in 1 minute?
My own contribution is that we are coming out for peaceful protest, and if government wishes to attend to us in a way that will please us, we are coming out to fight them. We are coming out because we are tired already. The youth are tired. We are coming out to fight. It's better for us to die by a gun than to die of hunger. So our coming out is to protest. State government what we want, and let government listen to us. If they should bring soldiers and police to threaten us, that's when everything will be brutalized. Thanks, ma.
Thank you so much for calling us.
I just want to plead with these people because I know that a living dog is better than a dead lion. So no matter what, let them be careful not to do things that will make them lose their lives.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, we lost that caller. Everyone seems to be on the brink and at the extreme, and throwing, caution to the wind with their words. And this really takes me back to 2020 during the NSAS protest. Yeah. When you were speaking of who is leading the protests, you asked a question, and
there was no clear leader.
There was no clear leader of the protests, and even with the same thing that's going on here, don't you think that these leaderless protests in itself are defunct? How are you thinking about this? Because if we don't have anybody on the front lines taking responsibility, providing initiative, and inspiring the group, who would then engage the government?
That's what makes it more volatile. When you have spontaneous demonstration across the length and breadth of the country and there's no clear leader, it makes it more volatile because people will just come out. You won't know where they're coming from. People will mobilize in the middle of the night, arrive somewhere, sleep close to where. I interacted with somebody today who said they have applied to Minister Wike for Eagle Square, but they have not received any response, positive response from him.
Yeah, but he said the FCT is not a place for
even at that,
protest.
they said they are going to mobilize. They will meet at Unity Fountain and begin their peaceful protest.
When you talk about
we have more callers on the line.
Gathering, there will also be a spontaneous leadership that will come out of it.
Hello, good evening, KAFTAN TV Matters Arising. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on the program. Can you please turn down the volume of your TV set and give your contribution in 1 minute?
Very good, very good. You are calling from Akpan.
Thank you, Mr. Akpan. Thank you, Mr. Akpan. Can we have your contribution?
Yes, my contribution is this. Please, first of all, I want to thank the KAFTAN TV for bringing up this program. So many television channels don't want to bring up this program because they are afraid of federal government banning them or doing this or that. Thank you, ladies and young lady and the gentlemen, for bringing this program so that you can hear from us, the youth of this nation. I just want to tell you thank you first. Let me tell you the scenario and how I feel and how Nigerian people feel. I want to tell you, majority of Nigerian youth are graduate and don't have jobs. Some of us can fabricate refinery and fabricate fuel for the very country the government put a stop to it. We are from the Niger Delta. And we can use the refinery by ourselves. There is bush locally that can provide fuel and the rest and build refinery somewhere. And then talking from us, putting us to this position. Now is the time for us to react. I want to tell you that if we want to stop this protest, the way they look up the new national actors and the health services, the less than the one they can stop the protest even of our life by reducing the fuel price. We cannot claim on this different goal, and we cannot continue to do the same thing with and have a different result. That result was to very forward for this one. The nation will give us. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for your contribution, Mr. Akpan. We'll now go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll take more contributions. Don't forget to turn down the volume of your TV set before calling us in the studio. We'll be right back.
When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world, we're not just bragging, we know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live.
And they gave us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready.
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, Startimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802-993-8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us. When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world, we're not just bragging, we know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live.
And they gave us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready.
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, Startimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802-993-8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us.
Welcome back to KAFTAN TV Matters Arising. Tonight we are taking a look at the planned protests for the 1st of August 2024 as a result of rising inflation and bad governance, especially in Nigeria, that is sort of frustrating citizens and causing and even legitimizing the anger that a lot of young people in particular have towards today's political turmoil and issues. Mr. Okechukwu, before we went on this break, you were trying to drive home a point, and I want to give you an opportunity to land.
Thank you so much. I need to land fast too. See, this thing we're talking about today now, as I said, lately the president has done much to make sure that things are made better. Nobody will take it away from him. But what I'm saying is, this thing we're doing, is it even for the federal government alone? What are the state governments doing? It's a good thing that the president met with APC governors. But the protest is not only for APC states, it's for everybody. So president, please meet with all the governors, number one. Ask them what they are all doing. Because they all need to do something fast before this thing gets bad. Because it was only Kogi State, I think, that I heard when the palliatives came in, that they added their own palliatives to...
In equal measure.
Yes, in equal measure. So as to make sure that it goes round. I have not had any other state governor do whatever. So whether it is APC or PDP or LP, if there is any, yes, there is LP and all these, that is not the point. What are you doing, state governors? What are the local government chairmen doing, whether they are elected or appointed? Let them do something. If there are palliatives from all of them, it will go around and people will calm down.
I think I share the same view with Okechukwu. What are you doing, state governors? Because these palliatives emanate from the federal, from the center.
Yes.
And governors collect them. And there are accusations. Each time palliatives arrive at the subnational level, there are accusations of diversions.
Yes.
You know, in favor of, you know, the political members of the political parties in that state.
Will you say that, you know, will you say that our government responds to protests? Because I'm really looking at what really can spark change, you know, beyond the protests and beyond these calls for, you know, changes here and there, whether it's in our policies or changes in our leadership, which is less plausible if you ask me. Will you say that our government in general responds to protests? You know, there are other ways of holding our government accountable, for example, and looking at all these new policies that are now being passed in response to these protests. We can start by holding people accountable. If you just talked about palliatives, for example, I'm not sure that a lot of people know that palliatives has been sent to their states.
Apart from hearing it in the news. Apart
from hearing it in the news. Who is receiving these palliatives? What are the names of these individuals? Who are these palliatives meant for? You know, how are we tracking the distribution?
Let's hear the people in the state say, I received this, I received that, I received this.
We can commit to telling stories of people who have received the palliatives.
You know that while this planned protest is going on, the plan is going on, our legislators at the national level are going on recess. Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, just applied to go on vacation. He applied to the State Assembly today to proceed on vacation. Ojo Kalu is a senator, he's a serving senator. He's calling from the US for young people not to come out on the 1st of August. I would have thought that this is the time that all leaders will come back to the country. Come back to the country, stay, you know, engage these young people in a dialogue.
Don't you think that that's a form of communication, that they are trying to communicate already, that, you know, they are not going to respond to this type of language?
See, no. There is, if they do something this day, it will make people calm down. What are we talking about? The fact is that, just as you mentioned, some of the ministers, some of the members of the National Assembly, they are talking as though they are not part of it.
Exactly.
They are Nigerians. They are leaders. They are not talking about only Senator Ahmed Tinubu, Bola Tinubu, that is
okay, you remember what
he's not the only one. I'm not talking about.
You remember what Uzodimma said in his response to this planned protest? He said,
okay, yes,
there's absolutely no need for it.
No need for it.
I will take a few more calls. I will take a few more calls, and I'll give you a chance.
It's their show. It's their show. Let them call.
I'll give you a chance to wrap up here, because of course I want to hear from the people.
It's their show.
Hello, good evening. KAFTAN TV Matters Arising.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you for joining us on the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Daniel. I come from Kebbi State.
Thank you, Daniel from Kebbi. Can we have your contribution in 1 minute?
Yeah, like seriously, the problem we have in this country, it's like we have like more than 3 or 4 problems. No, number one is that these marketers talking about removing the fuel subsidy. If federal government said they remove the fuel subsidy, it's for them to. If federal government decides to remove the fuel subsidy, that is to say that the meaning of fuel subsidy is that if Nigeria paid a truck, then the truck will go to Calabar or go to Enugu. The marketers, they will divert it to another place. Now, when the government say that they will not pay for the fuel subsidy, from there, you use your money to buy the fuel and transport it to anywhere you want to take it to. That is the reason. Now, the marketers are the main point of this country that is destabilized. You understand? Now, in 2015, the American president, America say that they predict that Nigeria is going to be divided, in which the picture of APC comes up, and by force they take the government from the PDP down to themselves. Now, in the PDP regime, as a citizen of this country, you are entitled to live large. That is to say, whatever amount of money you take to the market, you can produce, you can buy anything you want to buy. But now, you cannot even go market and buy something of 5,000 naira. I cannot even do you for a day or 2 days. Where are we heading to?
Thank you so much for your contribution. You know, he was meandering, but I think I get it. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Peter. I'm calling from Ondo State.
Mr. Peter, can we have your contribution in 1 minute?
My name is Peter. I'm calling from Ondo State.
Thank you, Mr. Peter. Can we have your contribution in 1 minute?
God bless you, ma. God bless you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Well, it is it's an easy thing. If our government want to really stop the protest, it doesn't cost them anything to stop the process than to acting to the voice of the citizen. Like the palliative, there is nothing like a palliative. They should turn this palliative to ship goods or ship material for people, for easy people, for common people to buy. Instead of free food, let them put it in a storehouse. Let people go there and buy maybe a bag of rice at 10,000 naira. Let that 10,000 naira be returned back to the government purse, so that they will add more. Then if we are doing this today, I will tell you that between now and Sunday, let us okay, all the palliatives should be sold at the rate of 5,000 or 10,000 per bag. You will see that they will stop this protest. Because it is hungry that people are talking about. Now that we stop the hungry, which means the government want to really do something. They don't know what, they don't buy anything in the market. They don't buy food as we are buying. They don't buy fuel as we are buying. Let them announce today that okay, the price of fuel is now 150 naira. Maybe there will be protest on the 1st. They know the right thing to do.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
You see something now.
Yeah.
He has made a good suggestion. Instead of saying it's free, it's this and that, why not just bring all these products, give it at subsidized
very affordable.
Yes, so that people will now start buying.
But interestingly, these palliatives are not already being sold.
Okay, that's another thing altogether. That's another thing altogether. But then, if it continues, there used to be agric markets in our country. Where are they today? Go to Ministry of Agric, put all of these things there. Let people go there and buy. It will help bring down the cost of these things.
These palliatives are almost like audio palliatives. I hear about these palliatives all the time. But I've never seen these palliatives in my eyes
just as
before.
You've never seen.
Or I'm not part of the stakeholders.
I've never seen. And so many people who are even listening to you, watching you now, have not seen it. That's why I'm asking.
It would be nice to know how many people have actually,
and the local government
even our viewers and you receive these palliatives. It would be nice to know.
The palliatives are for the poorest of the poor. So you don't belong to that category. So don't expect palliative from the federal government.
Oh,
Truly.
Mr. Hunohashi.
I'm being realistic.
What are the yardsticks with which you have mentioned the poorest of the poor?
That's a very good question.
She's not part of it.
Who
is the poor and who is the poorest of the poor? Everyone is poor today in Nigeria. Everyone. The only one that is not poor is the one that is the politician that is making money from Nigeria.
So it's
simple.
Are you suggesting that the politician now?
It's not just President Bola Tinubu that we're talking about here.
No, it's not.
All of them. They are all involved in this matter. What can we do? Let's get this thing down to normalcy, please.
We have a caller on the line. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on the show. Can we have your contribution in 1 minute?
Yeah, my name is Innocent Igwe. I'm calling from Aba.
Hi, Mr. Innocent.
Yeah. The truth of the matter is that coming on live TV and be talking about palliative, you people it's like you people are provoking Nigerians the more. It's an insult to Nigeria. We are not beggars. What will it cost Tinubu to open the border? Reduce the fuel price. This subsidy of a thing that he removed without putting things in place, that is just the root of all these problems we are passing through in this night.
That's what we said.
Every day, fuel keeps increasing in price. Do you know how much we bought fuel today?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. You are officially our last caller on the show. Because Mr. Hunohashi Okechukwu, I want to give you an opportunity to just give your final word on this issue.
I think my final word is that the president should convene a meeting with, the demographic that are championing this nationwide demonstration. That's the youth group. And if the DSS or security agents wants to arrest any online or a blogger, they can do it. So they can identify these leaders that are, making this, protest, gain traction on social media. So he should convene a meeting and reel out the programs that he will do in the immediate term, in the mid-term and long term.
Okay, yes, and let people have their freedom. Don't start making people not to talk again because they are afraid that they will be arrested one way or the other. Even before the program, we have heard of people that have been arrested because they said, let this happen. Please, there is no need for it. Let it be done quietly. Find out things that to be done and make things better. We're here to talk about making things better.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm also on the side of expressing your freedoms, speaking up when you feel disenfranchised, making sure that you have a clear agenda and objective as you pursue your goals. And that's the size of our package tonight on Matters Arising. We want to thank our esteemed viewers and our vibrant callers for making the program even more interactive. And on behalf of our producer, Ruben Okala, and the entire production team that made the program possible, I remain yours truly, Evelyn Dan Epelle. Good night and see you next time.
My name is Macauley Hunohashi. Thanks for being there. Good night and bye-bye.
Okechukwu Onubogu here. I always want to say, I thank God it has happened, and we pray that you stay blessed and stay in peace. And
as we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.